Hi guys, I'm Max, the founder of ShiftFast and a professional no-code developer. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your first AI app without writing a single line of code using no-code tools such as Bubble.io and ChatGPT API. Also, the app editor link will be provided down below so you can have a look and follow at your own pace. So if you're ready, let me show you how the app works and let's start building. So this is the preview of what we are going to build today, which is called Trainer GPT. So Trainer GPT is basically like an AI chatbot that provides you with workout and nutrition tips based on your fitness level. So let me show you how this works. So I can create a chat, give a name, for example, my AI trainer, create the chat, and then can start sending messages. For example, hello. And then this would show like animation and return the response from the OpenAI. So I can ask a more fitness related questions. So for example, provide me a 1-day workout plan, something like that. And then when I send to the app, which the app's gonna talk to the OpenAI and then return me a 1-day plan based on my requirements. So just give it a moment, let it run for a bit. So obviously that was a long text, so that's why it took a bit longer to generate. But here you can see the 1-day workout plan, which is formatted perfectly. We have this custom color set up, which is perfect. And you can build this in 10 minutes. I'm not even joking, 10 minutes. And you can basically put a paywall and then basically start charging a user to use this app. So let me show you how this app's built and show you the entire process. So this is the brief overview of how we're going to tackle this project. So you only need a Bubble account and also OpenAI account to be able to get started. And also you can be an absolute beginner at Bubble and you can still do this. So there are 3 main components to this project. We're going to tackle one by one. So first one is the API setup regarding the OpenAI and connecting with Bubble. And second is a backend database setup. And lastly, the front-end design setup. So 10 minutes, I'll show you how to build this from scratch. And then I can show you how to set up the paywall in the next video. So now I will show you how you can connect ChatGPT with Bubble. So basically you want to go into the API section. So you create a new thing called chat completion. One hack I'll show you is basically you go to the documentation, you find on the endpoints, you want to go under here is something called create chat completion. You see here, what you want to do, simple, copy everything, go back to the Bubble and see this text here, this small text, click on this, paste it in, click import. So boom, Bubble just did 90% of the task for you. And basically what you need to do now is give this a name, chat completion. So I'll name it actually chat completion, something like that. And here, what I want to do is I want to make this action. And also make sure, this is very important, make sure this and this is private because you do not want to leak your API keys. And I'm going to copy my API keys to here. Give me a sec. So I have set up my API keys here. So better, and then just put yours here. And here, you scroll down here. Obviously, because we are creating a trainer GPT, we won't make these a custom. So basically Bubble told us we use this column to set dynamic value, which is basically you can pass value into it. So for the system, I want to say something like, for example, system prompt. So this is where we're going to pass a prompt. And then this is the request from the user. I'll just change this to user message, something like that. And then just display here. So for the user message, I can type in hello. And for the system prompt, we're just going to put the prompt that I showed you guys before and put it in there. So now I have copied the prompt I showed you guys before into here and just do one last check before we connect the API. Everything looks fine. Make sure this is private. And then basically what you want to do is click initialize the call. And if you see something like this, and basically that means it's successful. As you can see, the AI return us a response saying, hello, how can I assist you today with your fitness and nutrition questions? So that means you have successfully connected API. Okay, so now let's talk about database setup. So I created this flowchart to make it easier for you to understand. So basically the main idea is here, right? So you will have a chat room, and inside the chat room, you have a list of messages. Some messages are sent by the user. For example, I am asking the AI for some questions such as give me a 1-day training plan or something like that. And then basically the AI will return a message within this chat room as a new message, right? So you kind of see the flow right here. So in the chat room, there's 4 messages, for example. So my message, the AI's response, and I'll send a message again, and the AI's response again. So this is how the relationship works. So let me set up in Bubble to show you what I mean. So let's go back to the app. So first of all, I want to create something called the chat room, right? So chat room. So this is the chat room. What I like is I like to give my chat room a name so I know which type of AI I'm talking to, what question I'm asking. So for example, I'll give a name, I make this as a text field. So that's a chat room. And now I create for example, messages. So text. So this is the actual message sent between the user and AI. So when the user asks a question, the question becomes the text field in the messages. And also basically we set up Boolean value for AI. So what this does is this help us identify whether the message is from AI or from us, from the user, right? So this is good for the UI, the front-end design, because we can classify the messages and differentiate it using colors, such as the demo I showed you. So the AI message is blue and the user message is gray, right? So this is just like to see what type of message it is. And in the chat room, as I said in the flow chat, this have a list of all the messages. So what I want to do is I create a new field, for example, messages in chat room. So I find the newly created data types, so messages. I want to make this as a list because obviously in a chat room there will be multiple messages, so this will be a list. And basically that's it. That's what you need to do of setting up the whole database. It's simple, just messages and chat room, and you have the basic setup. So now we can move on to the front end, the design, and also the workflow. And yeah. So after we have set up the database, now we can start setting up the front end. So in the front end, what you want to first have is a floating group. So on the left, I'm just going to adjust this to fit the height and then basically give some color so I can identify. So, and then I can give a name, for example, chat rooms, and just give it some, for example, padding to make it nicer. So on the floating group, so what we're gonna have in this floating group is gonna be the current users list of all the chat rooms with the AI. So how we do that is we give a repeating group here, and then basically let me move my head. So on the repeating group, what we have is we refer to the chat room, the database. Remember we created a thing called chat room, so we refer here, and then what we're gonna do is do a search for chat rooms, and also by the way, should be created by the current users. So the reason we set up this way, created by the current user, is because we only want each user to see their own chat rooms, not other users. So that's why we set it up like that. And also I can fix the roles, make it not fixed, so you have unlimited. And then basically I can put a text element in there. For example, I refer to current style chat room's name. So because remember we created a name for each chat room, so we can refer here for the user to identify. So, and then after that, I can just start styling this for a bit and then just to make it nicer. So let me just do that. Okay, so after we have set up the floating group with a list of all the chat rooms, now we should create a group for storing a list of messages within each chat rooms. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a group here, and then I'll play around with the margins so it doesn't block the floating group. So I'll give it 350 and something like that, and then we'll make it full height, and then basically just play around with that. And basically I'll get the repeating group. So this repeating group will store a list of messages within each chat room. So this repeating group, we're gonna find messages. So now a lot of you guys are probably wondering, how do we pass each unique chat room's data into this group? So basically when a user click on a certain chat room, it's only display message from that chat room. That's a very good question. So how we set this up is by using something called custom states. Custom states is a function in Bubble where you can temporarily store data in a group. So how do we create it is here. So let me just show you. So on the group messages is where I want to store the data of which chat room is it referring to. So basically I want to create something called chat room, and then basically find the chat room, the data type, and then create, and now you have a custom states. And so how this works now is when a user click on a certain chat room, we'll pass the data into this group message and only show the message from this certain chat room. And obviously in the repeating group of all the messages, what I want to do is I refer to the state I just created. So it's called group messages. So if I go here, I click group messages, and the custom state we set is called chat room. So chat rooms, messages in chat room. So in the data, we have something called messages in the chat room. So here we're just saying, only show me the messages from this current group. So only show these messages, nothing else. And of course, we need to put a text data type in here so we can show the actual conversation. And the Boolean data type we created in the backend, which is whether current cell messages AI is yes, then we can change the font color to blue so it looks better. So this is how we set it up. So last but not least is we want to have an input field so the user can actually send the chat to the AI so the AI can answer them. So for example, I want to have input, give AI message, something like that. And obviously we need to have a button so the user can send those messages to the AI. So send. So I'll just group this to make it look better. Group column. I'll make it to row. This looks better. Apply some gap. Sorry if you can't see, but let me just fix this. Fix width. And also we can change this so it look like this, and give some padding just to make it look nicer. So let me just basically do some changes around here. Give it no border. So yeah, that's the whole setup. So on the left, you'll have a list of all the chat rooms. On the right, you're gonna have the messages within the chat rooms, and also an input field where a user can type the messages and send it to the AI for it to respond. So this is how the front end looks. And obviously I'll provide you guys the editor access where you can come in and have a look yourself and play around with it. So now comes the most important part of the video, which is actually setting up the functionality to make sure the app is functional. So first, what we want to do is we find the input and put it here, give a name, for example, chat name, and also find a button and then put it here, which is called create chat, something like that. And then basically we fix the alignment a little bit. So basically when a user click on this button, we'll create a new chat room for the user. So add a workflow. So when the user click on this button, we want to go to data. We want to do something called create a new thing called chat room. And basically we want to make a name into the input chat names value. So basically how this works is when a user click on create chat, this will create them a chat room. So let me show you in the front end. Okay, so I have created a test user. Let me show you how you can preview your app. So I click on run as. So here is the front end. So here, if you can see, you can create a chat. So for example, let me do it. So for example, chat room 1, create chat, and it shows up here. And then if we check the database, let's have a look. All chat room is created. Let's take a look. So chat room 1 created by me on this day. So this shows that actual chat room have been created. So the function is working. So now the next function we want to set up is the one we talked about regarding the custom states. So when a user click on chat room, set the state of this group. So what we want to do is when a user click on this text of the current cell chat room's name, something like that, click add workflow. What we're going to do is set state of element. We find the group we create a data type for, so group messages. We find it here. So remember we create a custom state called chat room. So we find it here, and then we set the value to current cell's chat room. So basically what this does is, so when a user click on the current chat room, we'll set the state of group message to the current chat room and only display the message of this current chat room. And also just to show you how they actually work, the custom states, I actually put the current chat's name, the chat room's name here. So whenever a user click on a certain chat room, this should display the certain chat room's name. Let me show you this in the preview. So if I go back to data, find the user, click run as. Let me create some more chat rooms. Chat room 2, create, and then chat room 3, something like that, and create. So basically, what's this? Chat room 1 shows up here. Chat room 2 shows up here. Chat room 3 shows up here. So basically, the bubble is telling us we have currently selected chat room 3. So whatever message we're going to send from here is all going to be in chat room 3. Last but not least, what we want to do is actually setting up the send button so the user can communicate with the OpenAI API and actually chat with AI. So let's start from the top. So obviously we want to create a new message for the user because they are sending a request to the AI. So let's start with that. So when a user click on send, what we want to do is create a new thing. It's called messages. And basically the text will be input a give AI message value, and also the AI is no, because this is from the user, so obviously it's not an AI, and text, so basically I'm referring to this input, so whatever the user type in here is gonna be passed into the data. And also what I want to do is I want to reset relevant inputs, so this will refresh this input so you can start typing straight away. So it just clears out the message for you. It's kind of like Instagram, when you send a message, the input become empty. So that's just how this works. Obviously we want to make change to the thing. So we want to relate this message back to the original chat room so we can refer in the database. So what we want to do is basically we want to make change to the thing. So we search for group messages, chat room. We make changes. So message in the chat room, we add result of step 1. So we add a new message created by the user into this chat room. Let me show you on our front end in the app. Let me just show you this quickly. So run as. So I go to chat room 1, start sending, for example, hey, and then hey is displayed here. Or that hello is displayed here. So in the data room, all messages, 2 texts being created are all within chat room 1. So that's working perfectly. So now the next step, what we want to do is communicate with the API. So now it comes to the most important part of the app, which is actually setting up the API call and return the data from the AI and show it to the users. So this is the workflow of how we're going to do this. So basically the process like this. So first we call the API, and then we'll get the AI's response, and then we store the response in our database, and then basically if it's stored in the database, we can then show it in the front end. So I'll be setting this up in a bubble, so just to show you how everything works. So basically this is the whole idea. So we get a response, store the response, and show the response. So let me show you in bubble. So in bubble, we're still gonna use the same action. So send, when the user send a message. So here, remember, first we want to call the API. So chat completion, ChatGPT chat completion. This is the API name we set up. So chat completion, the message, which is the request the user is going to be passing. So here we can simply say result of step 1's text. So simple, pass request. And the next step is get the response. So how do we get the response? Is basically create a new thing. We want to create a new message, because when the AI returns us the text, it's still going to be a text, right? So obviously it's going to be a message, and the text we're going to do result of step 4, the API request, choices, first items, message content. So here it just says return me the API call's response, the text content. And then here, remember when we set up the boolean yes or no? So AI is going to be yes, because it's from the AI. And then we can just show it in the front end. So now let me show you in the front end. Before that, obviously I want to make sure everything is clean. So I want to make change to the chat room again, chat room, and then message add. This time is result of step 5, which is the AI message. So now let me show you how this app works all together. So first, let me create a chat room. So for example, trainer one, create a trainer one, click on trainer one, shows here. So I'll be like, hello, it should return me a message from AI. Let's have a look. Boom. Let me ask, who are you? So it should say something along the lines, I'm a personal trainer here to assist you. Let's have a look. Exactly. So let me do one more test. For example, give me a 1-day workout plan, something like that. Obviously, the longer the request, it takes longer to generate, but here is example plan. And you can definitely make the UI much better to customize it and actually start selling the app. So boom, you just created your first AI app. Congratulations. Obviously, this is a simple AI app. I'll be posting more complex AI app builds in the future on this channel. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks very much.